And today we're going to head out to the Bikes and Breakfast in Bogota. Always a great time. Meet up with some friends we haven't seen in a while. Maybe make a few new friends. Check out some of the bikes, the new bikes, the old bikes, the cafe bikes. Something for everybody. So we are at Bikes and Breakfast in Bogota, and it is a beautiful morning, probably 50 degrees already. And they got a great turnout.
Turbo Steve killing it on this thing, huh?
Turbo Steve, yeah? It's nice to be famous, isn't it?
Yeah. Maybe we should just watch it.
Well, it looks like they got a really nice turnout. Wow. What a nice day this is going to be. We never want to miss Oscar. What's new?
You got a new camera.
Yeah, check this cat. Thanks to Najat. You got one too. Well, yours costs money and mine is free.
Mine's a Leica too.
I'm sponsored and you pay at the shop. Are you a sponsored video protector? Let me see your fuzz. I got a couple of friends could use this. You got any extra ones? You'd need a lot of them, though.
This is my factory.
Factory part. Hey, the bike still looks good. Michelle is jealous. She wants this bike. Now, there are some cars here, too. I think an old Citroen there. Maybe that's a new one. I don't even know. Beautiful BMW.
Is that yours?
No, I can't afford BMW stuff. Are you kidding me? On a pension that I have?
Oh, God.
My pension check wouldn't cover the head gasket for this bike. Yeah, we expect some cars. That's nice and early. We're still in the shade here, in fact. But it's going to warm up to be a beautiful day. Always a nice eclectic collection of bikes of all types, all sizes, all shapes. There's a nice set of wheels there, and I can see the wind is already kicking up here. But it's early. So it's always good to see some of the friends we haven't seen over the winter and who's made it through the winter.
That is so... That's easy.
It bothers me enough to spray paint it. I'll just do it just like I did the bolts.
I hear a lot of bikes rolling in now.
That's de lo que ellos hacen.
Aquellos Sosas. Sosa montándose en torre y vaina así.
Shit, no, que se suba para allá arriba.
No, that's a young man's game.
Yeah?
So as this day was playing out, and you couldn't make a lot of this stuff up ahead of time, we had a giant group of Ducati guys all come in mass, and they went up to one end of the parking lot and checked out their bikes, of course. A lot of the guys that get here early, they're the regulars, of course, and what they do here, and it's pretty much you pick a parking spot wherever you want to park, but they're pretty much random. And I like to walk, and I try to include everybody that's at the event. Now, just for nostalgia's sake, a guy came in on one of two of these older Ducatis that a lot of people were checking out his bike. And I'm assuming the guys know each other. There was another guy came with one that was very similar. I don't know what years they were, but older Ducatis always seem to draw a crowd. And actually, the older bikes always seem to draw a crowd. And there was some pretty unusual bikes. This BMW touring bike with a sidecar. I guess you need more luggage there. Wow. It was a pretty cool bike. And I always like to see how creative some people can get with these bikes. And boy, they are. A lot of people have their heart and soul into touring. And boy, there are some beauties there. There's some nice Harleys today. Some nice older bikes. And especially the two Ducatis kind of stood out in the crowd. Just to mention a few, but I like to include everybody. The whole idea is we're trying to make new friends, trying to share our passion for the world of motorcycling, and this is a great meetup. It's the fourth Sunday of every month. It's in Bogota at the Bogota Press, not far from the courthouse in Hackensack, right across the river. You go over the little bridge and it's right there. And Dale had his 748 and I have to check it out. He had some Cerakoting done on this bike, on the exhaust system. He gave me all the information of doing it. They did it in a gunsmith shop, but I don't have it at the time I'm editing this video. And one of the other problems here, the wind was really starting to blow here. So the camera there goes Oscar. And Oscar, I don't have the little wind fuzzy thing that I made fun of everybody there with the fuzzy thing that goes on the camera. I don't have one for the new camera yet. So we did pick up a little wind noise. Now there's Dale, and I had to do a voiceover here. He did a Cerakote on this. The reason is the wind was howling. And they're playing music at the same time here. So, and I don't want to disrupt anybody's party. But beautiful 748. This is in his collection. And when we were up by his house, we got to see it. Now, this is funny. I guess funny up to a point. After hearing Dale talk about the Cerakoting, this guy that was parked right next to him, and I'm sorry I don't know his name, but maybe I should by now. He had a really old Harley with the tank shift and all this stuff, and everybody gathered around to see if he'd get it started. It's a kickstart, of course, and anybody that's ever had a kickstart bike knows, and a Harley's probably one of the ones that when they get old and when they get cranky, and Dale is trying to, well, not Dale, everybody's giving him a harassment. Now, when everybody saw that he couldn't get it started, what happened is everybody started gathering around with cameras and they're giving the poor guy a hard time, including me. And as he was doing this, his Kickstarter was moving back further and further. He was going to be out in the main road here pretty soon. And Dale, of course, was laughing. We were kidding around with him that it's all in good fun, of course, that pretty soon he could kick his way right home. And I'm sorry I don't have the voice, the real original voice on this, but with the wind, and I don't have the wind mic little accessory yet for this camera. But this turned out to be one of the highlights of the meet. and you could see people all around gathering and rooting them on, and yay, yay, it's an unbelievable scene when you can't get a bike started. Now, how do I notice? Because I had several bikes many years ago that weren't one-kick starters, many. And if you've never known how frustrating it is, the bike will always start at home, and you get to where you're going in a parking lot or in a restaurant or where your friends are, the bike stalls out or you shut it off, and you're doing just what this poor guy's doing. But to his credit, he toughed this out. Even though he could have worn out the kickstand here. And we were kidding to get this kickstand Cerakoted so it wouldn't leave a stripe on a driveway. But anyway, I really respect somebody that has a bike like this and they don't give up. And look, you people were all hanging around and, oh yeah, do it this way, do that, choke it, don't choke it. One guy actually said, where's a can of ether? And I said, you don't need a can of ether. You need 2 cans of ether, one in each pocket. Anyway, the good news is, and with all the cheering on and kidding around and everything, the guy did get it started. So with that, everybody was really, really happy to see that happen. Yay! Oh yeah, look at the peanut gallery here. Well, everybody's a critic when you have a kickstart bike. But anyway, this is a really old Harley too, and it's really in nice shape. If you look at it close, he did a nice job on that. Dale is telling him he's going to kick his way right out into the main road here pretty soon. But that was kind of funny. And I didn't want to put it in fast forward and kind of destroy it. It actually was one of the highlights of this meetup. And everybody's taking pictures, people are taking video. And we all had a good laugh. He finally got it started. Oh, was he happy. What a happy guy. Then I guess this wasn't the scene where he got it started. But he did get it started. And that, in the end, that's the test of a real men, when men were men and kickstarts were kickstarters.
Hey, whoa! Woo! Holy mackerel! Don't let it stall out! Oh my God! Oh my God! Hey!
And of course, after he got it started, we were all happy for him, and we all volunteered to push it and tow it and push it off a cliff or whatever. But it's really rewarding when you do get a bike that's a kicker, that's cantankerous from time to time, and you get it started. You have that feeling of dominating the world, and if only that were true. Anyway, Craig got his Kawasaki, and we always check this out. His whole collection of bikes. He lives right up there near Pokey. His collection of bikes. He's got, among others, a beautiful Aprilia. He's got a beautiful Ducati too. And we always like to see some of the unusual bikes, Can-Am, among others here. And we've seen several versions of these, and I'm not familiar with them. But old Aprilias, always like to see them. And there's always something. Now, what's nice about this meetup, of course, everybody's friendly, but that's not the point. The point is there's some eclectic bikes. This is one of them. Now, I know Ray in Florida will check this out. And I know Michelle, who loves Hondas. This is a cool little bike. You can run this out in the parking lot, up the mountain, go around, do some wheelies with it. That was a really nicely restored or maintained bike. And by the way, this is the place. And it's a nice place to have breakfast and lunch. It's a little cafe. Bogota Press, you could look up the address if you're in Bergen County or what. This is the inside of it. I always like to give them a little plug. The people there are very friendly. They're very motorcycle friendly. And they have a nice selection of food. And, of course, the coffee is always great. And the people there are very, very motorcycle friendly. I have a picture of me there, too. Look at that. Thank you, Wendy. Anyway. And our favorite waitress, who Luciano and I always give a hard time to when Luciano comes. And we have so many meetups in this part of the country. I guess if you were really a fanatic, you could attend at least one a week. And there's some on Wednesday night and some on Thursday night. And I really like to go to the ones that are on a Sunday. It seems like you have more time. And then at the end of the meetup, if you link up with a couple of friends, you can always head out for a ride. These gentlemen all came in with their Ducatis. It looked like a Ducati dealership by the time they got them all parked and all lined up nice. And I am so old, and believe me, I am really old. I am so old. I remember when if you were at a meetup like this and you came in on a Ducati, it was rare, and you were like the rare bear or something, that you had a very unusual bike. It seems like Ducati figured out how to sell a lot of these bikes, and there are a lot of them, and they ride in mass. I guess they enjoy their days of riding 8 or 10 bikes that are all pretty much the same, and they're beautiful bikes, and nobody could question, boy, the beautiful wheels, the styling, and if I were younger, I may even be wanting to have one myself. The wings, I always kid the guys about the wings, and you always have fun when you see somebody with a Ducati like this. I always tell them, I think, there's only one problem with the wings. They're on backwards, they're upside down. And I'm an aerodynamic engineer, and I know that. And they go over and look, maybe they are on upside down or something. Then you have to, you tell them it's just kidding around. But they're always in good humor. I always have a lot of fun with them. I always like to give them a hard time about the bikes, but they are beautiful. And no doubt in my mind, some of them are super maintained and super highly polished and everything. It's just, and here you go, there's Tom's bike. And some of the unusual bikes that you don't see a lot of. And I always like to get my goal is to have everybody included on the video. Years and years from now, here comes the other guy with the old Ducati. These guys were chatting for a while. I took a lot of pictures. Everybody was interested in these old Ducatis. And they sound so good. The one thing, I remember Lauren's Ducati, the old Ducati that she had, the sound was so much better than the modern ones. The sound was just awesome. And, well, it's all in the eye of the beholder anyway, but these two were really nicely maintained. I don't know what year or model they are. Joe Padula probably knows by heart. But they were in beautiful, beautiful condition, and the guys are very friendly about talking about them, and they were comparing who had this and who had that, and I've seen both of them before, but they're beautiful. Now, I remember 390 KTM. I remember when Ray came up with he had gotten this exact bike, or a similar bike. It was a 390 anyway, and we went up and down 106 and with my 400 RD, and then we switched bikes, and that's a wonderful bike. That's a great 106 bike, boy. I always like to pan around, show somebody. This is what the parking lot looks like early in the morning. And usually they start at 8 o'clock, and there's always the hardcore guys that are there at 8. Sometime if you get there even later, and it goes to about 11. And usually by 11:30, the guys are all out of the parking lot. But there's always some people that stick around right to the end and beyond, I shouldn't say the end. And it is a wonderful meetup. If you like to look at motorcycles, you like to meet some new friends, you like to just show off your handiwork, this is Tom's bike. And he painted the subframe on this. And again, by this time of the day, the wind was howling. You couldn't really record anything. And the fact that we have music in the background, it doesn't make it any better either. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. He did a nice job on this. This bike has 80,000 miles on it. And it's in absolutely beautiful condition, and he's got a couple more little things he's going to be doing to it soon, and we have chatted many times at the meetups about painting that subframe. And some more Ducatis came in here, and they took over the south end of the parking lot, and it was funny. It looked like a Ducati showroom. I'm kidding, but it was pretty cool having all those Ducatis there. But no matter what bike you ride, the Bikes and Breakfast, and Dale, thank you for all the work you put into it. Next weekend we'll be up at the one on 9W at the market. You could look up on the internet Bikes and Breakfast and get all the ones there all over the place now, and you can get the dates that they have them, and they're always well attended, and you always run into people that have bikes you're interested in. I'd say everybody is so friendly. They want you to check out their bike. They want to check out your bike. It's a great way to spend a Sunday morning. And there's always people I meet. I have never gone to any of these and not met somebody who I wasn't interested in becoming friends with. And many of the people I have become friends with. So it's a win-win for everybody. But anyway, it's in Bogota. And again, the nice thing about it is it's a very casual, motorcycle friendly place. You can have a nice breakfast, if you come with your wife or girlfriend. You can sit inside. They have nice tables. And the fact that they're very, very motorcycle friendly. They don't give you a hard time about parking anywhere or whatever. In some places, not so motorcycle friendly. But anyway, and all of the bikes that I saw today, I hope I didn't miss anybody. I stayed right to the very end. But like everything, even the best of times, there's a limit to how much time I have. I have to get back to the house. Even check out the dog. The kids are coming over for lunch, so and with Buddy, so I didn't want to disappoint anybody. So at the end, we packed up, we got everybody ready, and we all left pretty much together. And by the way, I do try to post a new video almost every day, and we do work in the shop, among other things. And if you're not a subscriber, hey, enjoy the videos and share them with your friends. And I try to include everybody and try to include all the motorcycles and all the people that share my passion and maybe your passion for motorcycling. So, hope you did enjoy the video. And thanks so much for watching.